Dear students of class 6, I hope all of you are taking care of yourselves. Today we are going to start poem number 3 from your English textbook Honeysuckle. The title of the poem is The Quarrel by Eleanor Farjeon. So, are you ready to start the poem, The Quarrel? So, let us go and read the poem. Before we start reading the poem, let us know about the poet, Eleanor Farjeon. Eleanor Farjeon was an English writer for children. She wrote for children like you. She was born in London in the year 1881. She died in 1965. Her stories, plays, and poetry are magical but unsentimental. So, she wrote for children like you, and this poem that we have here is also meant for children like you. So, let's carry on and see what the poem has in store for you. Before we start, let us discuss the title of the poem, The Quarrel. So, what is a quarrel? A quarrel is a disagreement about a small issue like how the weather is, whether you like the weather of the day or not, and what your favorite food is, or small issues. So, and it is usually between people who are close to one another, like your brother or sister or a friend. So, the quarrel is a disagreement usually about something very small, a small issue. Now, have you ever had a quarrel with your brother or sister or your friends? Please try and remember how the quarrel started, how you felt after the quarrel, how the quarrel came to an end, how you felt when the quarrel ended. Well, it is common for brothers, sisters, and friends to quarrel. However, sometimes they may not even be able to say why they quarrel. They don't even know the reason. They don't even remember it because it is so small. But how do such quarrels last? So, as the quarrel is going on, how did they feel? And how do they end? So, this is what the poem is going to tell us. Let's read the poem and find out what the poet wants to say about the quarrel. Now, we are going to start the poem, and please keep your books ready. Keep it open, and first I'm going to read it, and as I read, please pay a lot of attention, listen very, very carefully, and enjoy the poem. So, The Quarrel by Eleanor Farjeon. I quarreled with my brother. I don't know what about. One thing led to another, but somehow we fell out. The start of it was slight, the end of it was strong. He said he was right. I knew he was wrong. We hated one another. The afternoon turned black. Then suddenly my brother thumped me on the back and said, "Oh, come along. We can't go on all night." I was in the wrong. So he was in the right. So that is the poem the quarrel. I hope all of you listened carefully and enjoyed the poem. Now, I want all of you to read the poem yourself, try to understand something, learn something, and at the same time, don't forget to enjoy it. So please read it quietly yourself and try to understand the poem. Here we have some words and phrases which you must have come across while reading the poem. Let's see what they mean. The first one is fell out. It means stopped talking. The next word is slight. It means not serious. The third one, thumped. It means slapped. You must have thumped your friends or your brothers or sisters, maybe sometimes to surprise them. And one example is while playing hide and seek. So when you come close to the person who is seeking you, you thump him or her at the back to tell him that yes, you're out and he couldn't seek you or find you. So that is thumped, meaning slapped. The picture which you have on the right side will give you an idea of what thumped or slapped may look like. So I hope some of the words and phrases are clear to you now. Now it's time to start working with the poem and see how well you have understood the poem. It's time to check. Let's try to answer the questions. The first question is try to guess the meaning of the underlined phrases. The first one is and somehow we fell out. So the underlined phrase here is fell out. So without looking back at the previous slide, please check whether you have understood the meaning of fell out. Promise that you won't look back at the previous slide. Come on. This next one, the afternoon turned black. So the underlined phrase is turn black. So try to guess what turned black means. Question number 2. Read the lines given below, think and write what these lines mean. First one thing led to another. What do you think it means? Please think and write what you think it means. Please write it down, all these questions in your notebook. The second one, the start of it was slight. Third, the end of it was strong. Fourth, the afternoon turned black. The last one, thumped me on the back. So these are the questions that you have to think, answer, and write them down in your notebook. One more exercise where you have to really think and then write it down. Describe a recent quarrel you have had with your brother or sister or friend. Think hard and try to remember how did it start and how did it end. So try to remember. You have to think hard, or maybe it's not very difficult to recollect or remember. So what you have to do is recollect, try to remember, and then write it down in your notebook. The question is, describe a recent quarrel you have had with your brother or sister or friend. Now what you have to write down is, how did it start? Try to remember. And how did it come to an end? So this is your assignment. So enjoy the poem, learn something new, write down the questions and answers to help you remember better and learn the poem in a better way. So, dear students of class 6, do your work, stay healthy, and stay safe. See you.